Welcome to Coffee Conversations. Today we're in Paris, in what was once a factory and has now been repurposed as a modern workspace. And it's that evolution and expansion of companies focused on a low carbon future that is our topic of conversation. Joining me is Jean-Christophe Laloux. Perhaps it would be useful to begin by you explaining really the mission of the European Investment Bank.
So the European Investment Bank is the bank of the European Union. We are trying through long-term finance and advisory to promote a certain number of objectives which are important to European citizens. Energy and climate transition is currently a very important part of our activity, and BNP Paribas is one of our best partners.
Christelle, now you provide relationship management. Can you summarize, I suppose, the focus of that collaboration?
Our focus, especially in Europe, is really to support what we call the real economy, small and medium capital, but also individuals. The European Investment Bank became really the climate bank of Europe. We share the same long-term views about the transition, about supporting the European economy, about making things happen.
Severin, you're in charge of the low carbon transition group. Could you share BNP Paribas' vision and approach to that transitional change?
So the group was created more than 2 years ago, just before COP26. The bank decided to create a proper group that will be in charge of low carbon transition. And this is where this is pretty unique. We have been taking in the same group, professionals coming from merger and acquisition, equity private placement, debt advisory and financing, in order to be sure that we can be active across the whole capital stack. BNP Paribas has a role to play in these complex topics related to transition, and there is a lot also of technological risk to be assessed.
So, Jean-Christophe, what do you see of the value in collaborating with an organization like BNP Paribas?
For us, there are a whole range of things that we cannot do on our own. We very much depend on them to be in contact with the market and with smaller clients, as Christelle was saying, also with individuals. We don't have a network of branches across Europe. They can rely on us for bulk financing and sometimes for sharing risks. There is a very natural complementarity there.
What is so important in the collaboration with the AB is your counter-cyclical capacity. When there is a negative trend on the market, and especially in Europe, we can rely on you to help us to change the direction.
Jean-Christophe alluded to the risk sharing. I'm convinced that the presence of European Investment Bank would probably help reassuring certain banks, potential lenders on the direction Europe would take, on the fact that they have done their own due diligence.
Brings a mark of quality and respectability. And
yeah.
And I'm happy that Severin is saying it.
Yes.
If I say it, it's completely...
So we've talked a lot about the generalities of this. Can you illustrate some of the examples of how that collaboration has worked?
We have together partnered in France on trying to develop a battery cluster in the north of the country. We have done that elsewhere as well. The first gigafactory in Europe is also one of the examples.
We are looking together at European sourcing of these raw materials for the batteries.
Just to end, I wonder how optimistic you are of making those changes on a grand enough scale to actually be significant.
For the first time, Europe has produced last year more than 50% of its energy mix through renewable energy. I am absolutely optimistic that we, the Europeans, are going to show the way.
The path is clear. BNP Paribas has committed to increase its support to clean technologies and development of low-carbon transition business models. It's not going to be as fast as expected, but it will happen.
A really fascinating coffee conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.